Why Rolls-Royce has most expensive cars in world. Some of the most luxurious automobiles in the world are manufactured by Rolls-Royce. It is not easy to find a Rolls-Royce car at a reasonable price because the company is well known for making handcrafted autos that promise a smooth, magical carpet ride for its customers. The prices shown below are for the entry-level versions of some of the Rolls-Royce vehicles that have been the most popular sellers. On the other hand, the true cost of a bespoke Rolls-Royce is essentially limitless because it may be customized with virtually any additional components, upgrades, or alterations. Rolls-Royce is unwilling to even mention the costs of its base models. As a result of the fact that it is highly dependent on each customer as an individual and the bespoke choices that they would like to build and develop with our bespoke team, there is not a fixed basic pricing that we would discuss. So what exactly are some of these individualized additions? To what extent does this contribute to the high cost of Rolls-Royce? The color is certainly one of the first obvious starting elements that may be considered. We have a palette that contains more than 44,000 colors. We make replicas of people's lipsticks, as well as something from your home, something you own, or something you've seen. An owner's dog, a red setter, is something that we also created. Therefore, we'd exactly recreate them, whether it be through the DNA, chemistry, or any other means. For us, it is one of a kind. Not only will it be recorded as your color, but you will also be able to give it a name, and it will be yours. If another individual has seen it and is interested in using that particular finish, we are required to go to that individual and request permission from them. As we make our way to the paint shop, you will notice that it is referred to as the Surface Finish Center. This is because it is considered somewhat offensive to say, "We are painting the car." It is not as simple as that. A minimum of 7 layers of coat are going to be present on your person. There are primers, there are base coats, there is color, and in an uncommon move, we applied 2 coats of lacquer that were clear. However, you might have as many as 23 layers of coating, which is something that we have done in the past. This would amount to almost 45 kilograms of weight just for the coat. Customers of Rolls-Royce can create unusual effects by infusing their paint with materials, in addition to the fact that there are an infinite number of color choices. One very wealthy client went one step further and asked for the addition of 1,000 diamonds to their purchase amount. He wanted the finish to have a little bit more sparkle, so he gave us a bag which contained diamonds. We annihilated in them. Infusing them into the paint was the process. A single individual is responsible for the meticulously detailed paintwork that is applied to Rolls-Royce automobiles. This is a remarkable feat. Mark Court is the coach liner for Rolls-Royce motor cars. My name is Mark Court, and I work for the company. Because I have a coach liner, I can attach this pinstripe to the side of the vehicle. The fact that I do it entirely by hand is what makes it special, and I am the only person at Rolls-Royce who is capable of doing this. In the context of the Rolls-Royce BMW group that applies to the entire world. Therefore, the brushes that I use are made of the hair of squirrels. We discover that the majority of brushes in use today are manufactured by humans, which tends to leave brush marks within these lines. Natural hair does not leave any signs at all, and this natural hair is one of those natural hairs. We adhere to a single standard, which is a higher standard, and as a result, we use a standard that does not leave any brush marks to begin with. Not only that, but Mark is available to go all over the world with his paintbrush if customers do not already have a coaching desire to add one to their vehicle. By the usual for Rolls-Royce, the company never returns to us. We will go to it. However, if it is in Dubai, then so be it. There is no other place for me to go. There are a few distinguishing characteristics that are present on the outside of every Rolls-Royce. In addition to the Spirit of Ecstasy ornament, the handcrafted Pantheon grille, the self-righting wheel centers that guarantee our emblem will never be rotated, and the automatic wheel centers. The fact of the matter is that BMW spent $65 million in 2003 to buy the rights to the Rolls-Royce name, symbol, and the Spirit of Ecstasy. But the interior of the vehicle is where the level of luxury and the price of the vehicle skyrocket. Rolls-Royce installs around 300 pounds of acoustic insulation all around the cabin and transform the ride into one that is almost completely silent. Continental, the company that manufactures tires, even develops specialized foam-filled tires that have a 9 decibel reduction in the amount of noise that is produced by the road. Because the findings were so significant, Rolls-Royce decided to remove some of the soundproofing to prevent the occurrence of auditory sensory deprivation. There is also the possibility of transforming the dashboard of the Rolls-Royce Phantom into a bespoke art exhibition. A further outstanding characteristic of Rolls-Royce is the Starlight Headliner, which is a complex arrangement of fiber optic roof lights that mimic the appearance of the night sky when illuminated. According to Alexandra Benga, the construction of the Starlight Headliners might take up to 16 hours. In the beginning, we are going to drill it, and the night sky will be covered with stars when we are finished. Additionally, consumers can build personalized starlight designs, which may include randomly generated shooting stars, just like they can with any other Rolls-Royce product. It was even possible for one customer to have their design matched to precisely recreate the constellation of stars at where they're on the night that they were born. Therefore, there is no actual regular method that is repeated when it comes to embroidery. This is because every design is unique to the individual who is purchasing it. Instead of simply scanning in an image and turning it into embroidery, there are a few steps involved. Every facet of the picture has been carefully considered. Depending on the angle at which the stitch is set, the light will be reflected in a variety of various ways. As a result, rather than simply being a flat image, we are attempting to push it to the next level. Therefore, it is virtually three-dimensional, almost like a hologram effect, which you can achieve by the stitching that we have done. This unique Rose Phantom model, which is comprised of 1 million individual stitches, is the most intricate embroidery job that Rolls-Royce has had the pleasure of completing. In terms of embroidery, to ensure that all of those embroideries can come together and match some of the stitching, we will need to devise a detailed plan that specifies the order in which we will be placing them on the leather. One cannot tolerate anything. It can't be off by even a millimeter, otherwise it will be utterly discarded. Take, for instance, a somewhat different facet of the Rose Phantom. It serves as an excellent illustration of the evolution of one of the insects. When it comes to stitching, something that appears to be pretty straightforward in an image becomes quite complicated. As a result, the Phantom Rose headliner requires the application of a few approaches that we had not previously utilized. As a result of the size of the rose headliner, we were required to disassemble it into its parts. Consequently, every butterfly, the flower heads themselves, and then all of the vines and leaves are included together. At this point, you can see that it is essentially a layering of stitches of varying colors and densities in a variety of different combinations. By building those up, we can generate that kind of fade effect in which it is darker in the middle and fades out towards the wings. We can then fine-tune them to the quality that we anticipate, and then we can begin mixing it and putting it all together for the headliner as a whole. Over the past decade, Rolls-Royce has witnessed a growth in sales. Sales reached 5152 units in 2019, representing an approximately 25% rise from the previous year. Additionally, the average age of a Rolls-Royce owner decreased from the late 50s to the middle 40s. To illustrate, let's take Drake. The worth of his Bushicon model, which was a special edition of the Phantom, was approximately $700,000 when it was taken out of the factory. On the other hand, it is believed that Drake's adaptations, such as the diamond-encrusted OVO owl that was substituted for the Spirit of Ecstasy, contributed to the overall price being approximately $1 million. The Sweptail was the Rolls-Royce model that reached the highest price point ever produced. This one-of-a-kind automobile, which was the product of labor that lasted for more than 4 years, was reportedly priced at $13 million and had previously held the record of the most expensive new car in the world. The reason that Rolls-Royce automobiles are so expensive is because of their luxurious nature, in contrast to other high-end automobile manufacturers that prioritize speed, maneuverability, and the status of super lightweight supercars. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.